Having now completed both the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokédex, it was obvious what challenge awaits me next. The daunting Gen 3 Pokédex. Now, the Gen 3 Pokédex is a massive challenge spanning over multiple games. So before I take on the main game, that being Pokemon Emerald, there are a few prerequisites that need to be completed. This includes completing the Kanto Dex on Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, and catching all Shadow Pokemon in both Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD. So for this video, we're going to be going back to Kanto again to catch all 150 original Pokemon. Not 151, because you can't actually catch Mew in FireRed and LeafGreen. That would require my Pokemon Emerald, which we will get into at a later date. To complete this challenge, we're going to have to catch all Kanto Pokemon that are available in Gen 3, except Mew, of course. Now, this is going to require both my copy of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Oh, if only we got Pokemon Water Blue, maybe in an ideal society. Anyways, this is because some Pokemon are exclusive to FireRed and some are exclusive to LeafGreen. So for this challenge, I'm going to be doing the main playthrough of my Pokemon FireRed and using LeafGreen to trade over the remaining Pokemon to fill in the gaps. To record my footage for this video, I'm going to be using the Epilogue Playback Game Boy player, which makes it really easy to record the footage on my PC. This video is going to be broken up into multiple parts. Part 1, the main playthrough. This will just be a basic run through the game's main storyline, while we also try to catch as many Pokemon as we can along our journey. Part 2, post-game and cleanup. For this part, we will be delving into Pokemon FireRed's awesome post-game, venturing to the Sevi Islands to explore, and Mewtwo encounter in the Cerulean Cave. As for the cleanup bit, this will involve us catching any of the Pokemon that we missed along the main playthrough. Part 3, trading unobtainable Pokemon. This is where LeafGreen comes into play, where we will be trading over any Pokemon that we are unable to get in FireRed over from our LeafGreen. Part 4, evolutions, which is just evolving all the remaining Pokemon through level up, evolution stones, and trading. If you enjoy watching me do these challenge videos, consider subscribing to the channel and giving us a like. It really helps out your boy. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Just like in every other Pokemon game, in FireRed, we are greeted by a professor. In this case, it's of course the GOAT, Professor Oak. I mean, bro literally created the Pokédex. This challenge wouldn't even exist if it weren't for his greatness. Alright, that's enough glazing. We now enter the world of Pokemon. Play some NES and head outside for a stroll. Upon approaching the grass, Professor Oak comes to save us from wandering into the wild. He escorts us back to his lab, where we receive our very first Pokemon of the run. And I go for Squirtle, because who doesn't love Big Man Blastoise? What's your guys' favorite Gen 1 starter? For me, it's definitely Squirtle. We then go on to our first battle against our rival, Gary, where we give him his first whooping of the run. Better luck next time, buddy. We now head north of Pallet Town until we arrive in Viridian City. We pick up Oak's parcel from the Poke Shop and bring it back to him. Oak then gives us the Pokédex, along with 5 Pokeballs. Now we can start our quest to complete the Kanto Dex. We say our goodbyes to our mum and head north through Route 2. Picking up a Rattata and a Pidgey. Upon arriving back in Viridian, we head left, going along Route 22, catching a Spearow and Mankey. Now, as we head further down the route, we encounter Gary, who wants to run it back. So of course we defeat him on our first go. Definitely not losing my first real time because his Pidgey got back-to-back critical hits. Anyways, now that old mate's had his coffee, we are forced to watch him catch a Weedle. Ugh, finally he's done. We continue forward to Viridian Forest, where we battle through all the bug trainers and pick up a Weedle, Caterpie, and Pikachu. We then arrive in Pewter City and take on the leader of the gym, Brock, who we wipe out with Squirtle, earning our first gym badge, the Boulder Badge. We continue our journey heading into Route 3, defeating all of the trainers, evolving my Squirtle into a Wartortle, and also catching a Jigglypuff and 2 Nidoran males. Yes, 2. We skip buying a Magikarp from the man in the Poke Center. 500 bucks for a Magikarp? What a rip-off, mate. That 500 bucks I could be spending gambling at the game corner. We continue forward, heading into Mount Moon, where we snatch up a couple of Pokemon, including a Zubat, Geodude, Paris, and Clefairy. As we approach the exit, we defeat the greedy Miguel and grab ourselves the Helix fossil. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course we grab the Dome fossil because Kabuto is way better than Omanite. We exit Mount Moon and we find ourselves in Route 4, where we pick up an Ekans and proceed to Cerulean City, home of the second gym leader. Mister. But before we challenge the gym, we've got business to attend to. Because Gary wants the smoke, so we give it to him, taking out his team with ease. You know, Gary doesn't seem to be that arrogant in Gen 3. He seems kind of chill. Oh wait, he's coming back. I feel sorry for you. No, really, you're always plotting behind me. Nah, never mind, he's still a prick. Anyways, we continue along Route 24, defeating all the trainers along with the Team Rocket member who thinks he's the Godfather. What do you mean you're gonna make me an offer I can't refuse? Also, during the battles, I evolved my Nidoran into a Nidorino. Now, while I was trying to catch some Pokemon along this route, something crazy happened. Believe it or not, I ran into a shiny Pokemon. Along Route 24, you can only run into 7 different Pokemon. And out of all these Pokemon, I probably ran into the worst one for how far I was into the game. Just play the clip. Oh my god, I just ran into a shiny Abra. There's no way I can stop her from running away. Oh my god. We've got one opportunity. One shot to make it count. This is actually... Bro, oh, what do I do? Oh my god. I wasn't even recording either. I had the recording paused as well. Oh my god. Alright, boys. Alright. Here we go. Did you know if you spam AB, you actually are more likely to catch the Pokemon? Alright, let's do it. AB. No! Well, that sucks. We have to keep going though. We do end up catching an Abra and Oddish. Then continue on to Bill's house, where Bill has turned himself into a Clefairy. Bill asks us to help him turn back. I mean, anything to get Clefairy off my screen. We help Bill out and he gives us the SS ticket. With that out of the way, we head back to Cerulean City to challenge Misty. We take out Ostami with our Wartortle, winning us the battle and earning us the Cascade badge. We now head south of Cerulean City along Route 5, catching only a Meowth. We then enter the underground path, where we have our first trade of the game, trading our second Nidoran male for a Nidoran female. Nice. We tear through all the trainers on Route 6, evolving our Oddish into a Gloom. We then enter Vermilion City, home of the true American patriot, Lieutenant Surge, leader of the 3rd gym. First things first, we grab the Old Rod, do some fishing, and catch us a Magikarp. Next up, the SS Ant. We battle through all the patrons on our way to the captain's quarters. As we get closer to his quarters, we are stopped by Gary, who can't help but flex his Pokédex progress, somehow catching 40 different Pokemon, and challenges us to a battle. Hold up. Why does Gary look different now? He looks so damn smug. Let's wipe that smug look off his face. We defeat Gary, and he still has that stupid look on his face. Anyways, we go give the captain a good old rub, and he gives us the HM for cut. So we go back to the gym, get stuck on this stupid garbage bin puzzle for about like 5 minutes. Then we take on the gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. We manage to take down his iconic Raichu, winning us the battle along with the Thunder Badge. Before we leave Vermilion City, we trade with this girl, swapping our Spearow for a Farfetch'd. Now we head east and stop by Route 11, just to catch another Spearow to replace the one that we traded. And also a Drowsy. We then go through Diglett's cave, picking up Diglett. Crazy, I know. Who would have guessed it? And also a Dugtrio. We exit the cave and find ourselves back on the east side of Route 2, where we do our 3rd trade of the game, trading this kid an Abra for his Mr. Mime, named Mimian. Along this route, we also pick up HMO5, Flash. Before we head back to Cerulean City, we make a quick pit stop at Pewter City to pick up the old Amber so we can get Aerodactyl later on. We arrive back in Cerulean City, catch another Abra, and head east along Route 9 and 10, defeating all the trainers and catching a Voltorb, aka La Bomba. We move forward, entering the Rock Tunnel. We explore the tunnel, managing to pick up an Onix and a Machop, and evolve our Mankey into a Primate. We finally reach the exit, and we arrive in Lavender Town, which is nowhere near as spooky as it is in Gen 1. But we don't stay long because we have business to attend to. So we head to the left of Lavender Town, going through Route 8, catching a Growlithe, and continuing to defeat all the trainers that get in my way. Oh, and we also evolved my Wartortle into Big Man Blastoise. Okay, we're getting closer, I can feel it. Finally, Celadon City, I'm home. It's time to gamble. We are so bad. A coin case is required. No! We grab the coin case off this quitter and I get my fix, boys. Oh, that hits the spot. After doing some gambling, we discover the Team Rocket hideout, where we absolutely rinse through all the grunts and eventually find ourselves face to face with Team Rocket's leader, the one and only Don Giovanni. We defeat Giovanni in battle and we obtain the Sylph Scope, which is needed to see ghost Pokemon in the Pokemon Tower back in Lavender Town. But before we do that, we have a couple things to do. First off, we go do some shopping, pick up a couple evolution stones, then we get some tea off this old Bubba, and of course we can't forget about grabbing our free Eevee. One last thing before we leave, we need to take on the 4th gym, and its leader, the Flower Princess, Erica. We absolutely decimate all the trainers and find ourselves up against Erica. We take out her signature Vileplume with our Mr. Mime, getting us the win, earning our 4th gym badge, the Rainbow Badge. Honestly, Mr. Mime has been OP as shit this run. I mean, he can even learn Magical Leaf. Like, what? Where do the leaves even come from? We head back to Lavender Town and enter the Pokemon Tower, where we bump into our rival, Gary. What brings you here? Is your Pokemon dead? Bro, isn't your Raticate the one who's dead or something? Anyone remember that old theory? Like, we killed his Raticate? Anyways, alrighty, let's get this over and done with. Come at me, Gary. We mop up Gary's team, sending him packing. Well, I better get going. I've got a lot to accomplish, unlike you. This guy, bro. We delve deeper into the Pokemon Tower, defeating all the crazy looking channelers and catching a Ghastly, Haunter, and Cubone. For some reason, I kept using Dig on Ghastly in some of these battles, completely forgetting that there are abilities in Gen 3. We then put the Mother Marowak to rest and continue to the top floor, where we rescue Mr. Fuji from Team Rocket. Mr. Fuji then rewards us with the Pokeflute. You know what comes next. Wake your fat ass up, boy. We catch Snorlax, allowing us to progress further down Route 12, where we pick up the Super Rod off Old Mate, using it to catch a Horsey and Psyduck. We continue down routes 12, 13, and 14, battling through all the trainers and catching a Venonat and Ditto. Then we finally arrive in Fuchsia City, where the 5th gym leader, Koga the Ninja Master, resides. We waste no time at all and challenge him to a battle. Mr. Mime pretty much destroys his entire team with Psychic, winning us the battle, earning us the Soul Badge. Now it's time for the true suffering to begin. It's time to enter the Safari Zone. There is 12 Pokemon that we are looking to catch. You've got your easy ones like Rhyhorn and Execute, then you've got your hard ones like Kangaskhan and Tauros. First off, we just do a base run of the Safari Zone, grabbing HM03 Surf and the Gold Teeth. Oh, and we did manage to also pick up a Rhyhorn and Execute. We give the Warden his Gold Teeth and he gives us the HM for Strength. Alrighty, back to the grind. We head back into the Safari Zone and get the easy ones out of the way, catching Parasect, Nidorina, Seaking, Venomoth, Doduo, and Dratini. That's all the easy ones done. Now it's time for the heavy hitters. All these Pokemon have a capture rate of 45 or less and encounter rates ranging from 4% to measly 1%. Of course, varying depending on which area of the Safari Zone that you are in. First one we go for is Scyther, with an encounter rate of 4%, it took us about 15 minutes just to encounter one. And of course it runs away after 2 Safari balls. We do eventually catch it on our 3rd attempt though. So far, so good. Now, because I'm a moron, I was trying to find a pincer for like 1 hour just for me to realize that you can't even catch pincer in FireRed. Now, although you can't find a pincer, you know what you can find? A shiny. Just watch this shit. Oh my god, I just ran into a shiny right on. But the 2 shinies in this run is ridiculous, alright? I was trying to find pincer. First ball, come on. No, please don't run away. Oh my god, I'm literally panicking. Another shiny the same run. This is ridiculous. Please don't run away. No! No! No way! Oh, I'm done. I'm actually done. There is no way. There is no way. Anyways, back to catching pincer. Fuck! Yep, that's right. I'm down 2-0 against shiny Pokemon. I'm gonna get roasted so much in the comments. Anyways, back to the Safari Zone. We go for Chansey next, which has the lowest capture rate out of all the Pokemon at 30. And it shows. I failed to catch this fat pink ball multiple times. It took over 1 hour just to finally catch us a Chansey. The next one I go for is Kangaskhan, which wasn't that bad to be honest. We caught it after only 3 attempts. The last one left to catch is Tauros. Tauros is really hard to catch because it has a high base speed stat, which makes the Pokemon have more of a chance of running away. And boy, did it run away. I had like 20 failed attempts before finally taming this wild beast. Well, that's the Safari Zone finally done. I never want to see this place again. Before we leave Fuchsia City, we stop by the 3rd fishing guru brother and he gives us the good rod. We sneak into his backyard to test out the new good rod and we hook ourselves a Poliwag and Goldeen. Now it's time to head to Saffron City. Upon arriving in Saffron City, we notice that the city is crawling with Team Rocket members. But before we deal with that, we take on the fighting dojo to train up our team to take on Team Rocket. We defeat the karate master and he rewards us with the choice between Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Of course we go with Hitmonchan because he's just cooler. I mean, he's wearing boxing gloves. What's not to love? Oh, and we also evolved our Gloom into a Vileplume using one of the leaf stones that we got back in Saladon City. With some training done, we enter the Silphco building, going floor to floor, defeating all the Team Rocket goons that get in our way. Until we reach the 7th floor, where we find Gary waiting for us. We don't have time for this. We deal with Gary swiftly, and this random Sylph employee gifts us a Lapras. We continue moving forward, once again finding ourselves face to face with Big Geo, and he challenges us to a battle. We defeat him in combat, putting a stop to Team Rocket's operations in Saffron City. We rescue the Silphco president, and he says, because I'm rich, I can give you anything. Anything, you say? Well, how about a couple million? Oh, I guess a Master Ball will do. Now that the Team Rocket members are all gone, it's gym battle time. This time, it's the 6th gym leader, Psychic type specialist, Sabrina. Man, I hate this gym. I always get lost trying to make my way to the gym leader. Eventually, we do make it to Sabrina, and we take out her signature Alakazam with our Blastoise's bite, winning us the battle and acquiring the Marsh Badge. That's Saffron City done. Now we fly back to Fuchsia City and head south where we do some fishing at the shore, catching a Seadra, Krabby, and Gyarados. With that done, we set sail on course for Cinnabar Island. We battle through all the swimmers, catch a Tentacruel, and then find ourselves at the Seafoam Islands. Here we pick up a couple different Pokemon, including a Golbat, Seal, Dugong, and 2 Golducks. Quack, quack. This is where we encounter our very first legendary Pokemon. Articuno. Now, when I caught Articuno in Gen 1, it was really easy to catch. So I was expecting it to be fairly easy. But oh boy, was I wrong. I don't know what it is about Gen 3 and catching legendary Pokemon, but catching Articuno was ridiculously hard. On my first 2 attempts, we failed because I ran out of Ultra Balls. That's 96 Ultra Balls in total. What makes it even worse is that on our 3rd attempt, we do catch it after 1 Ultra Ball. You can't be serious. Catching Articuno literally took me an hour and a half. Hopefully catching the others aren't that bad. We find our way out and surf west until we finally arrive at Cinnabar Island. First things first, we head down to the Cinnabar lab to restore both of our fossils, turning our old Amber into an Aerodactyl and Dome fossil into the ever so cute Kabuto. Love this little guy. Now, we can't challenge the Cinnabar gym because Blaine's senile ass forgot to unlock the gym door. So in search of the key, we find ourselves exploring the abandoned Pokemon mansion, where we find a Grimer, Coughing, Raticate, and Wheezing, adding them all to our Pokédex. As we explore deeper into the mansion, we find the secret key, which opens the door to the Cinnabar gym. We challenge the gym leader, Balding Blaine, the fire-type specialist. Our big man Blastoise rips through his team with Surf, and we defeat Blaine, earning us our 7th gym badge of the run. As we exit the gym, we are met with the familiar face of Bill, who ropes us into joining him on a little side quest to the Sevi Islands. We follow him onto the boat and arrive at one island, where we meet his friend Celio, who is doing some research, yada yada, we get it. Bill asks us to deliver this meteorite to some dude at some game corner, and he gives us the Tri-Pass, which allows us to visit Island 2 and 3. But before we go do that, we explore one island further, catching a shoulder on the pier and surfing down south, catching a Tentacruel. We continue surfing further down south and we arrive at Treasure Beach, where we manage to catch a Fearow, Persian, and Tangler. Next, we explore the east side of one island, traveling on the Kindle Road. This is where we pick up a Ponyta and Rapidash, defeat all the trainers, continuing to strengthen my team until we find ourselves at Mount Ember, where we encounter our 2nd legendary bird, Moltres. You guys remember when I said, hopefully catching the others aren't that bad? Well, let's just say that this one took 5 attempts, over 150 Ultra Balls, and over 2 hours of my time, just to catch this oversized chicken. There is no way that Zapdos will be this hard. Oh, and we also picked up Machoke at Mount Ember. Now that we're pretty much done exploring one island, we head to 2 islands, where we find this guy panicking because he can't find his daughter. So naturally, we agree to help him out. So we take the boat down to 3 Island, defeat all the bikies, removing them from the island. We continue to look for Old Mate's daughter. On our search, we catch a Pidgeotto and we find ourselves in the Berry Forest. As we delve deeper into the forest, we find Lostel, Old Mate's daughter. She was being harassed by a creepy ass Hypno, and you know, we just had to catch it. Bro, what is this Pokédex entry? It says there was once an incident which it took away a child that it hypnotized. That's crazy. Looks like this Hypno is going straight to the PC prison with the forever sentence. Now we return Old Mate his daughter, and we give him the meteorite that Bill gave us. Just before we leave though, we do a little fishing and catch ourselves 2 Poliwhirls. Now we go back to one island to tell Bill that we delivered the meteorite, and now we can return back to Cinnabar. Now back to the matter at hand. We need to catch Zapdos to help us beat the Pokemon League. So we fly back to Cerulean City, and while we're here, we trade one of those Poliwhirls that we caught for a Jigs. We now head east to the power plant. Here we pick up a couple Pokemon, including a Magnemite, Electrode, and Electabuzz. But the main reason we're here is Zapdos, the last legendary bird to catch. Let's do this. To my delight, we catch Zapdos on our first attempt, after around 20 Ultra Balls. Thank God. Now we fly back to Viridian City, because the 8th gym leader has apparently returned. So we challenge the gym to find out that Don Geo is the gym leader. And we absolutely obliterate his team, with our big man Blastoise literally one-hit KOing all his Pokemon one by one with Surf. I don't know why he has 2 Rhyhorns, like, it's so dumb. Anyways, we defeat Giovanni and he officially disbands Team Rocket, riding off into the sunset. Well, I guess that ends the story of Don Geo, but our story still continues. As we head towards the Indigo Plateau, we encounter Gary, and he says, "I'll whip you, Jeji," as a warm-up for the Pokemon League. Oh boy, it's on. And he's still got that smug-ass look on his face. We give Gary what's coming to him and defeat him. Now it's time to move on to bigger challenges in the Indigo Plateau. We pass all the badge checks and we arrive at Victory Road. Great, I just love Victory Road. Said absolutely nobody. Let's get this over and done with. We battle through some trainers, smash some rocks, and catch a few Pokemon, specifically an Arbok and Marowak. Then we find our way out. We finally made it to the big leagues. But before we challenge the Elite Four, we use all of our rare candies we collected on our journey and buy a couple of items. Okay, now we're ready. Let's do this. First up is the classy Lorelei, the Ice-type specialist. Her team is the same as Gen 1, consisting of Dugong, Cloyster, Slowbro, Jinx, and her iconic Lapras. So, still a crazy strong team. She starts off by sending out Dugong, and we go with Zapdos. We take out her Dugong, getting the 2-hit KO with Shockwave. Slowbro comes next, which we take out with Blastoise just spamming Bite. Then she sends out Cloyster, who just gets 1-hit KO'd by our Zapdos. Now it's onto the heavy hitter, Lapras. To deal with this beast, we go with Primate's Cross Chop, getting an absolutely massive critical hit, 1-hit KO. Last out is Jinx, which is dealt with easily with Blastoise's Bite. That's 1 down, 3 to go. Next up is the absolute mass monster, Bruno, the fighting type specialist. And his team is still arse, made up of Machamp, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, but then he goes and ruins it with 2 Onyxes. Our Mr. Mime alone is enough for this one. With Magical Leaf, we take out both Onyxes, obviously getting the 1-hit KO. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan both go down to a 1-hit KO Psychic. Machamp, however, is a little stronger, and we take it out with 1 Magical Leaf plus a Psychic. That's Big Man Bruto out of the way. Moving forward, we meet the 3rd member of the Elite Four, the old Bubba, Agatha, who is known for a Ghost-type Pokemon. Her team includes 2 Gengars, Haunter, Golbat, and Arbok. Just like with Bruno, Mr. Mime solos her whole team, 1-hit KOing her Arbok, Golbat, Haunter, and both Gengars with its powerful stab Psychic. I never realized how good Mr. Mime is for a FireRed playthrough. He's actually crazy strong. Well, that's Agatha down. That only leaves 1 left. The Dragon Trainer, Lance. Now, Lance's team is very good, made up of powerful Pokemon. His team consists of Dragonite, Aerodactyl, Gyarados, and 2 Dragonairs. We start off strong, taking down his Gyarados with Zapdos' Shockwave, getting the 1-hit KO. Aerodactyl comes out next, and we respond swapping in Blastoise, who gets the 1-shot with Surf. Now it's time for the Dragons. Starting off with Dragonair. Now this is where Articuno comes in clutch. 2-hit KOing both Dragonairs with its powerful stab Ice Beam. Lance's last Pokemon is Dragonite, which somehow manages to survive an Ice Beam from Articuno and take out Articuno with Wing Attack. So we send in Blastoise to finish it off using Surf, thus defeating Lance. Lance informs us that we would have been champion if he hadn't been defeated just before this. And who could have defeated him? Of course it was our rival Gary. It's time for the championship bout. Time to humble Gary one more time. You know, at least he doesn't have that stupid look on his face anymore. Gary starts off sending out his Pidgeot, and we go with Articuno. We get lucky and freeze it with Ice Beam, then proceed to finish it off with another one. Gary sends out his Rhydon, and we swap in Blastoise, blasting his Rhydon into oblivion with Surf. Venusaur comes out next, so we swap in Senior Mime. It takes us not 1, but 2 Psychics to take down this tanky-ass Venusaur. Gary goes with Gyarados next. So of course we send in Zappy, surprisingly taking 2 Shockwaves to feint it. Crazy, I know. Alakazam is up next. We send in the Big Man, who gets the 2-hit KO with Bite, then Gary sends out his last Pokemon, Arcanine. Big Man Blastoise takes it down with its powerful stab Surf, getting the one-hit KO and closing out the championship battle. As arrogant as Gary is, I kind of feel bad for stealing his thunder. Bro's championship reign lasted like 5 minutes. Nah, scratch that. Someone had to humble him. We get our team registered in the Hall of Fame, and we are crowned the Pokemon League champion. What a goated team. MVP of this run was definitely Mr. Mime. He came in clutch so many times. Well, that's the main playthrough done. Let's get a quick Pokédex check. 94 out of 150? Damn, that's actually not that bad. We're almost there. With that being said, next up, the post-game and cleanup. After defeating Gary and becoming the Pokemon League champion, we start our game back up, and upon leaving our home, we are approached by Professor Oak, and he upgrades our Pokédex, adding the National Dex. But we won't be needing that until we get to Pokemon Emerald. Before we get into the post game, we need to head back to Fuchsia City and head to the left to this building, where we can trade one of the extra Golducks that we caught for a Lickitung named Mark. I don't know why, but the name actually suits it. Now we fly back to Vermilion City so we can take the boat on down to One Island. On One Island, we talk to Celio, who tells us about his work on a network machine that will allow us to trade exotic Pokemon from trainers far away. But the machine requires 2 special gemstones for it to work, a Ruby and Sapphire. Celio said that one can be found on One Island, so of course we head out to go find it. We find ourselves back at Mount Ember, noticing some suspicious Team Rocket members yapping among themselves. Something about warehouse passwords, mentioning that one of the passwords is Goldeen need log. Right as they're about to say the second password, we get noticed. Okay, now we have to battle them. After defeating both these grunts, we continue into the cave. As we delve deeper into this cave, we eventually find the ruby. Oh, and there's some braille text here in the wall. It says something like, "Ah, yes, I see." Anyways, we bring the ruby back to Celio, and he asks us to go find the other gemstone for him. He gives us his rainbow pass so we can go explore islands 4 through 7. So we head to island 4. Upon arriving, we bump into Gary, who can't help but chat some shit, saying that we'll never finish the National Dex. Gary, you just watch me, buddy. We explore 4 island further, discovering the Icefall Cave, where we find the HM for Waterfall. This allows us to traverse deeper into the cave. Upon further exploration, we find the Queen of Ice herself, Lorelei. It looks like she's in trouble, and she asks for our help. Anything for my queen. We take on one Team Rocket grunt, and Lorelei takes the other 2. After we defeat the Team Rocket grunts, Lorelei proceeds to interrogate the Team Rocket member, asking where the stolen Pokemon are. She threatens to freeze them with her Lapras's Ice Beam. I knew Lorelei was ice cold, but damn girl, she's just as crazy as Lance using Hyper Beam on some thug in Pokemon Crystal. Must be an Elite 4 thing. The Team Rocket grunt snitches, telling us that the Pokemon are at the Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island. Now, to get into the warehouse, we need 2 passwords. We've already got one of the passwords from eavesdropping those 2 stooges earlier, so we just need to find the second one. In search of the second password, we find ourselves exploring 6 Island, where we stumble upon this weird metal door that has some braille on it. It apparently translates to cut, so we use cut on the door and it opens the path forward to the dotted hole. We enter the maze and oh no, it's another braille puzzle. This time the braille tells us which direction to go in. But wait, I can't read braille. However will I solve this puzzle? Oh wait, 2 letters? Could that possibly mean up? Oh, okay. Seems like that was right. We do this another 3 times until we find the Sapphire gemstone. We grab the Sapphire and what the who is this guy? This random guy steals the Sapphire and just dips. You can't be serious. You know, at least he told us the other part of the password, which is pretty much, yeah, nah, chancy. Now that we've got both passwords, we head to Island 5, battle through all the Team Rocket members until we reach the Rocket Warehouse, where we continue to battle more of the Team Rocket loyalists. After defeating both admins and reaching Gideon, the guy who stole the Sapphire, we whoop his ass, taking back the Sapphire. Now that we got the Sapphire back, we head back to One Island to deliver the gemstone to Celio. Celio works his magic and makes the network machine fully operational, linking us with the trainers of the Hoenn region. Good stuff. Now that we've linked the regions, this opens the path to the Cerulean Cave. So of course we head back to Cerulean City to check it out. Within the cave, we catch a Magneton because I just can't be stuffed evolving a Magnemite. Then we find ourselves face to face with the legendary Pokemon Mewtwo. Now, I don't know what it is about catching legendaries in Gen 3, but for some reason it feels really hard. So I'm just going to go with the Master Ball for this one. We use our Master Ball and catch Mewtwo. Let's go. That's the post game and cleanup done. Now we move on to the trading and unobtainable Pokemon. This is where LeafGreen comes into play, as we need to get the 11 Pokemon that we couldn't get in our FireRed. Now, before I started my main playthrough of LeafGreen, I traded over a Bulbasaur. Then I started the main playthrough, in which I chose Charmander. We go through the game, catching all the Pokemon that we need, which includes easy ones like Slowpoke, Bellsprout, Vulpix, Staryu, and Sandshrew. Then you've got your harder ones like Magmar from Mount Ember, and the one that annoyed me the most, Pinsir, because we had to head back to the Safari Zone again.
Well, that's the Safari Zone finally done. I never want to see this place again.
It took like half an hour of failing for us to finally catch a Pinsir, which I mean is pretty standard at this point. Okay, this time it's for real. We're done with the Safari Zone, time to move on. We also grabbed all the gift Pokemon, choosing the other options this time. Firstly, grabbing the Helix fossil in Mount Moon, which we turned into an Omanite. Secondly, we grabbed Hitmonlee from the Karate Master, and another Eevee in Saladon City. The last Pokemon we need to catch, or should I say purchase, is Porygon. Now, the reason we are purchasing it in Leaf Green and not in Fire Red is that for some reason in Fire Red, buying Porygon costs 9,999 coins instead of the 6,500 that it is in Leaf Green. Now, we don't have time to gamble this time, so I just buy the coins and we buy ourselves a Porygon. One last thing before we trade over the Pokemon. We hatched some eggs, one Eevee and one Charmander. Okay, it's trading time. I pull out the old wireless adapters and my 2 Game Boy SPs and we start trading over all the Pokemon from our Leaf Green to our Fire Red. After all the trading is done, adding the new entries to our Pokédex, we have caught a total of 109 Pokemon, leaving only 41 left to get. And with that being said, we move on to the final part, evolutions. To start this part off, we're going to do all the evolutions that require a level up to evolve. So we grind the Elite Four, evolving all 16 of these Pokemon. Next up is Evolution Stones. Using the Moonstone, we evolve our Jigglypuff into a Wigglytuff, Nidorino into a Nidoking, and Nidorina into a Nidoqueen. Clefairy into a... what the hell? I think our Clefairy's been sniffing a little too many Moonstones. Anyways, Clefairy does eventually evolve into a Clefable. Using the Firestone, we evolve our Eevee into a Flareon, Growlithe into an Arcanine, and Vulpix into a Ninetales. With the Waterstone, we evolve our Shelder into a Cloyster, Poliwhirl into a Poliwrath, Eevee into a Vaporeon, and Staryu into a Starmie. Using the Leaf Stone, we evolve our Weeping Bell into a Victory Bell, and Execute into an Exeggutor. Lastly, we use the Thunderstone to evolve our Pikachu into a Raichu, and third Eevee into a Jolteon. With all these evolutions done, we only have 4 Pokemon left to complete the Kanto Dex. 4 more evolutions. That being the trade evolutions. Now, to make this more interesting, I busted out the old GameCube along with my copy of Pokemon XD. Oh, and this GameCube to Game Boy Advance trading cable thing. This is so that we can watch the Pokemon evolve on the big screen. I've still got my completed save file on my Pokemon XD from when I was a kid, so we should be good to trade. Alrighty, it's trading time. I'll hook up my Game Boy to the GameCube and we begin trading. I trade over my Graveler, evolving it into a Golem, Kadabra evolving it into an Alakazam, Machoke evolving it into a Machamp, and lastly, everyone's favorite, Haunter evolving it into a Gengar. Now we load back up Fire Red to see that we have caught all 150 available Kanto Pokemon. It's so satisfying just scrolling through the Kanto Dex, seeing it all completed. Now, there's only one thing left to do. We fly over to Saladon City and head to the Game Freak developer room and pick up our diploma for completing the Kanto Pokedex. Well, I guess that's it. With the Kanto Pokedex complete, that concludes the first part of the journey to completing the Gen 3 Pokedex. We're done with FireRed and LeafGreen, at least for now. As for what comes next, we'll be heading to the Ore region, delving into Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. If you enjoy videos like this one, consider subscribing to the channel because we're just getting started. Anyways, thanks for watching. Jeji out.